You dream of retirement. You've been dreaming of it since your first miserable job. The day you can finally stop, sleep in, travel, garden, play golf, read novels, do nothing, and you save for it and sacrifice for it, and tell yourself, just a few more years, like a prisoner counting down to parole. And here's the paradox that will make you want to cancel your 401k. The happiest retirees are often the ones who never fully retire, and the most miserable are the ones who stop working completely, because retirement, the American dream of endless leisure, is a fantasy that doesn't survive contact with human psychology. We need purpose and structure and to feel useful, and when you take all that away, you don't get a vacation, you get a void. The data is heartbreaking. Retirement increases the risk of clinical depression by 40%, especially in the first 2 years, and even controlling for age and health, retired people report lower life satisfaction than working peers. The golden years statistically grayer than the working years, and the neuroscience is straightforward. Your brain's reward system needs challenges and social contact and a sense of progress, and retirement provides a blank slate, which isn't freedom but a void your anxious brain fills with worry and isolation and the quiet terror of irrelevance. You lose the daily structure, the colleagues who were annoying but also human contact, the problems to solve, the reason to shower before noon, and you tell yourself you'll travel and garden and write that novel, but most people don't. They watch TV and scroll and wait for the phone to ring. The American twist is we've turned retirement into a consumer product. You've earned it. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. And the financial industry sold you a dream of endless leisure because that dream makes you save more. But endless leisure isn't how humans are wired. We're wired for struggle and contribution and being needed. And the happiest cultures don't have retirement. They have elders who remain active, teaching and mentoring and working as long as they can. Not because they're exploited, but because stopping is a kind of death. Now here's the reversal that only fully settles when you stop picturing a permanent vacation and start seeing the thread that keeps people alive. The most successful retirees are the ones who never retire but rewire, shifting from career work to meaningful work, part-time, volunteer, creative, social coaching, youth sports, working at the library, driving for Meals on Wheels, learning an instrument badly, starting a small business that breaks even, joining a community garden, keeping a schedule and friends and movement, and they live longer and healthier and happier than the ones who bought the lie. Let me tell you about Frank, a corporate accountant who retired at 65 with a spreadsheet of dreams. Golf on Monday, fishing on Tuesday, woodworking Wednesday, travel Thursday, rest Friday, and 6 months later he was drinking bourbon at 10 a.m. and had stopped returning calls, and his wife dragged him to a therapist who said, "Frank, you're not depressed, you're unemployed, and you've never been unemployed in your life. Your brain doesn't know what to do with itself." And Frank scoffed, but took the advice, started volunteering as a tax preparer for low-income families 2 days a week, no pay, and within a month he was sleeping better and talking more and had stopped drinking before noon. And he told his wife, "I thought I wanted to do nothing. Turns out I wanted to do something that didn't feel like work. But doing nothing is just dying slowly." And he worked until he was 82, not because he had to, but because helping others helped him. The American cognitive paradox sits right here. We spend our lives working to retire. But retirement is often the beginning of decline, and the only escape is to never stop contributing. To change how you contribute, not whether, understanding that humans are not designed for endless leisure, but for purpose, and purpose does not have a retirement age. Right now, your brain might want to argue you'll be different. You'll have hobbies, you'll travel, but ask yourself when you last had more than 2 weeks off and felt great after the first one, because the first week is great, the second you get restless, the third you climb the walls. Now multiply that by decades. That's retirement, and the dream of doing nothing is a nightmare dressed in flip-flops. The question from the beginning, why does the dream turn into a nightmare, has an answer that only a second viewing fully reveals. You were not built for rest. You were built for struggle and meaning and connection. Rest is a vacation. Meaning is a lifetime. So if something in you just exhaled, if the impulse sparked to send this to someone counting down the days until they stop working, That's not about me. It's the recognition that the finish line might be a cliff, and sharing that might be the first real piece of retirement planning either of you have done. Now go find something to do today that matters, whether you're paid for it or not. That's an order.